Hello! So, there's a big contrast between my mood today and my mood yesterday. Number one is I got sleep, a good amount of sleep. I went to bed probably around 11:30, and I woke up this morning around 7:45-ish, which didn't really make up for all the sleep I missed the night before, but I feel really good today, except for super sore from the this class I did at the gym on, today is Wednesday, Monday. I'm gonna go to another one today too at some point because I have the day free. I'm on my way to a farmer's market right now. It's not my favorite. I have such mixed feelings about the farmer's markets because there's one that's really big, but I guess really big doesn't matter to me because I only go to the organic stands, which pathetically are few and far between here in Florida. Most of the stands at the farmer's markets that I go to are, oh, I should totally go to the Glacier Farms one this weekend. Anyway, oh, I can't because of that class. Don't you love just hearing my thoughts as they go through my head? By the way, oh, it's 44. That's an improvement. When I woke up this morning, it was 33 degrees in South Florida. So anyhow, I guess what I was trying to say is that, oh yeah, most of the stands at the markets around here are just like people that buy things, the same exact produce that's at Walmart from the distributors, and then sell it at the market for more to old people that enjoy going to the market. Florida is a state that is just built on taking advantage of old people and tourists, and it's really unfortunate. Like, I don't want to call somebody out because I don't know if they watch my videos, but someone that I know and love dearly goes to the markets and buys conventional produce for double the price that it's sold in the grocery stores all the time. Like, I get it, the markets are something to do, but if you're going to do that, buy organic, except that they don't have as much stuff organic. So the market that I'm going to today, I usually can't go to because I'm at work. But my favorite local farmer, his name is Michael. He owns a farm on Pine Island called Pine Island Botanicals, and his wife or girlfriend, I'm not sure, is known as the Sprout Queen, and she makes and sells and grows beautiful, amazing sprouts that I've been eating a ton of lately. So anyway, so they're going to be there, and last time I went, I got egg fruit, which I actually didn't know was my first time having. They reminded me, because of the way they looked and felt when I held them, of egg fruit, which I mean not of egg fruit, of lilikoi, or what else are they called? Passion fruit maybe? I'm not sure. The ones where you crack open and they have these little seeds covered in gel and they're really sweet. I can't remember what they called them in Ecuador, but I really loved them in Ecuador, and we called them egg fruit because the outside kind of cracked like an eggshell. So that's what these felt like on the outside, and they were called egg fruit. So I bought one, and when I ate it, I opened it and there were no seeds. The inside was like this, I can't even describe the texture to you. It reminded me of, like, I don't know, it tasted like cake to me. So I want to go and get more cake fruit. That's what I'm going to call them. So anyhow, so my favorite local farm has a stand at this market, and they also have one at the Tuesday market, which is in the evening, that I can usually go to. But this Tuesday, I'm just so confused by what day of the week it is right now. It's Thursday. It's Thursday, not Wednesday. Okay. It's Thursday. That's why I'm so thrown off. And when I was looking at the gym schedule yesterday, I was looking at Wednesday. So anyway, it's Thursday. That's excellent. So I'm going to this market. What I wanted to talk to you in the video I'm making right now about is why I believe that buying organic is so essential. Something that people don't really think about often is that in the United States, the level of pesticides used on conventional produce is regulated to an extent. However, a lot of our produce we get from other countries where it is not regulated. And it's sad to say, but Costa Rica uses the most pesticides of any country in the world, I believe. I don't know if that's still accurate, but I do know that when I was looking into moving there, it was accurate. And it's not what turned me off, because although they use the most pesticides, there are also like equally as many organic farms and is farms the only word? I feel like there's another word for farms that I am trying to think of and can't. Food forests. But so there's also a pretty huge number of organic food growing operations in Costa Rica. So it's not like if you go there you can't get organic food. You probably can find tons of organic fruit, more so than you're going to anywhere in the States, which is why I can't wait to go to Costa Rica in summer. I will be at Costa Rica Fruit Fest, by the way. I'm so excited. July 27th it begins. I can't remember the date that it ends, but I will be there eating all organic fruit. That's the one thing that you have to keep in mind about Costa Rica Fruit Fest versus Woodstock. I'm not putting down Woodstock. It's just an entirely different animal. And I personally believe that Costa Rica is much more bang for your buck. You know, the flights to Costa Rica, for me, I live in Florida, so are only about $100 more round trip than they would be to go to New York, to go to Woodstock. And for me, I just feel like I'd much rather be eating fruit for a week in a tropical oasis than in a camp in upstate New York. That's not to say upstate New York in summer isn't beautiful, but all of that fruit that they are having has to be imported, and you know, the carbon footprint is just huge. And most of it is conventional fruit. None of it is local, because in summer in New York, you're not really going to be getting local mangoes and durian and, you know, maybe watermelon. There's some things that could possibly be local, but not a lot. So anyhow, Costa Rica Fruit Fest is where it is at. And the cost of the whole festival, Costa Rica Fruit Fest is one flat rate. They're not doing any, you know, right now it's cheaper. So the cheapest you can spend at Costa Rica Fruit Fest is comparative to about the cheapest that you can spend at Woodstock, except oh shoot, I have to go left. The cost of Woodstock is going to go up, you know, every month, I believe, until the festival. So if you can't get your plans squared away right away, then you're going to end up paying more. And I just truly believe that Costa Rica is really going to be a truly unique, amazing experience. And also, if you do decide to go to Costa Rica Fruit Fest, first of all, we get to hang out, and I can't explain to you how excited I am for the whole thing. But also, you can save $111 by using my coupon code, which is all caps, one word, Jess Eats Fruit. So back to eating organic. So what I wanted to say is that the fruit that's imported to the United States from other countries has no regulations on pesticide use. So I believe when I read this study, and I hate throwing around random numbers, I don't know for sure, don't quote me, do your own research, as I always do when I hear information, people, you know, saying, oh, this place is bad because of this and good because of this. I look it up and find my own information, which is what I did when I first heard about this, and I don't remember the numbers or anything like that exactly. But the point is that the rate of stomach cancer and digestive tract cancers in Costa Rica, more for, you know, not for everybody, not for people eating organic, but was extremely high. And so when I was reading all about this, I was actually living in Ecuador, where I was also having a really hard time finding organic food, because Ecuador is really off of the radar, you know, unlike Costa Rica, where it's a big tourist area and there are tons of expats living there, and the demand for modernization and, you know, what's the word for it? I don't know, for natural living Guys, my brain has been failing me lately. I cannot find the words for things so often. I'm also like developing dyslexia. It's got to be doing all this real estate stuff. My brain is clogged with useless information right now. So anyway, the demand for natural things in Costa Rica is much higher, where Ecuador is sort of off the map. The people, the locals really don't seem very concerned with health. And organic food is nearly impossible to come by. When I was there, I did a watermelon fast just because watermelon are one of the few fruits I'm comfortable eating inorganic. And also a lot of the fruit there is dipped in formaldehyde. Almost all of the bananas shipped out of Ecuador are dipped in formaldehyde. I don't know about organic. I actually met a woman there whose grandfather did a whole documentary on that. So anyhow, and so I did research on the stomach cancer rates in Ecuador, and they also were very high. And here's the thing, in the United States, say you buy certain things conventional because it's way cheaper. Something like a berry, you know, a blackberry or a raspberry, you can't wash the pesticides off of that. I mean, you can't really wash the pesticides off of anything, and because they're in the soil it's grown in. It's kind of like people saying, oh, I don't need B12 because it's in the soil. Well, if you're going to use that excuse, so are pesticides. So, you know, you can soak your shit in vinegar and salt water and whatever else all you want. You're still consuming the pesticides. Not nearly as much, you know, but it's just freaking horrible for you. You know, to me, it's like, if you wouldn't ingest it on its own, why would you ingest the food that's covered in it? Like, I'm not going to go, oh, I need to clean my fruit. Let me just dump some bleach on it first and then rinse it and it'll be okay. It just doesn't work, and it's just so horrible for you. And I'm not going to call anybody out. You know, I know everybody's their own place in their journey and whatever, but eating organic is really important. Like, I am to a point in my life where I would rather, you know, I pick my battles, and I'm not going to say I always eat organic. When I go out to eat and organic isn't an option, I will eat non-organic, like a salad or something, which is really frustrating to me because greens are like one of the worst things to eat non-organic, but you do what you do. You know, I've chosen at this point in my journey to live my life in the way that brings me the least anxiety and stress. And so that's one of the battles that I've chosen to leave alone, is going out to eat with friends and eating conventional produce when I do. Moving on. So anyhow, it's hard for me to see all of these insanely healthy fruitarians eating conventional produce all the time. Like, certain produce is just covered in pesticides, especially like this time of year. If you're eating anything that isn't growing in the United States, for example, like all of our grapes right now, I believe, are being sent from like Chile and maybe Costa Rica, I'm not sure, but do research on the countries that you are getting your produce from and see what type of regulations there are for their pesticides. I actually believe that Chile is one of the countries that really does regulate it to a high extent, and they do have a really large percentage of organic farms and things there, but our country doesn't want to pay to import them, so we don't get a lot of organic stuff from them. If you'll notice in the grocery stores, most of the organic fruit you'll find comes from this country because the government doesn't want to pay to import organic things. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just like, don't put chemicals in your blood, because that's what's happening. And when you're a fruitarian and all you eat is fruit and you're eating pesticides, like, it's almost to say that that shit's going to affect you a lot more than it's going to affect the person that's also, like, you know, a high carb cooked vegan, where they have things like rice and beans and all this other stuff in their system that it's almost like, not like it's blocking it, but it like slows the absorption. I don't know what it is, but I know that I feel like when you're eating a mucusless diet, you're much more sensitive to unnatural toxins. Like for me, when I was living in Israel, and when I would be in the city, I just passed a cop, and I would think I was going really too fast. Anyway, and I was eating a mucusless diet, and air pollution would really affect me stronger than other people. And that's also how I felt in Ecuador. Like driving past farms, you would see the guys out with their backpacks on and like hazmat suits. You understand, when people are spraying your food with shit they need to wear hazmat suits for, you shouldn't be eating it. Like, anyway, so I was just much more greatly affected by air pollution and even just driving past those farms. The whole time I lived in Ecuador, I had a headache all the time. And that's another thing that I've noticed that I don't know. Is this light gonna stay green? Probably not. I'll just go this way to stay safe. I get headaches when I see them spraying from planes. I don't know if that happens to other people. Actually, it's not when I see them spraying. It's I have a headache, and every single day that I've ever noticed spraying, I'm like, oh, that explains my headache. So anyway, that's just another thing. I think that when you eat a mostly mucusless diet, you're much more sensitive to unnatural toxins. And so if you are eating a mucusless, fruitarian, conventional diet, I think that you're going to be more greatly affected by all of the chemicals you are consuming. And I just don't see the point, you know. Why would you want to eat the healthiest diet but also eat chemicals? You know, just don't make much sense to me. So there's my 2 cents on that. It's almost like you've been getting like my 2 cents daily, which is interesting because just a few days ago, maybe a week ago on Instagram, I was like, I don't have time for YouTube. I'm not doing that shit. But you know what? I feel like the way to get used to YouTube is just to post to YouTube. That's it. You know what I mean? Don't even think about it. If you want to be a YouTuber, then you just have to post to YouTube. And if nobody gives a flying fuck, which is pretty much the case because I don't advertise my YouTube really. Like once in a while I'll share a video to Facebook, but most of the time I don't. I just do this rambling nonsense. Oh well, you know. But coming up in the next few months, I plan to make this a little bit more interesting. I'm going to figure out how to use my video editor on my laptop and things like that. Maybe I'll give you guys a couple glimpses of the farmers market while I'm there, if YouTube will let me pause the video and continue. We'll see.